Hi, I'm Bry Cox with BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com, and I have with me today Trajan King from InvincibleStartup.com. And I brought him in here because Trajan is the business guru, and he has had a lot of companies, has a lot of experience with business. Because today's question is, what are some books? What are some business books you'd recommend? And this comes because when I speak, I talk a lot about reading, because the average American reads less than a book a year, and some of those studies average in email surfing and web browsing to get to that book a year.
If you can read, why not do it?
Yeah.
Right? Why did you learn in the first place? You're not gonna do it.
Yeah, Lincoln was a self-made man because he walked and bought books and brought them home and read them.
Yeah.
And today we have all these books at our disposal, and people care more about who gets kicked off the island.
Why not read about that
instead
of watch it, right?
But the average millionaire reads a couple books a month. So, a couple favorite books of mine, and I really want to know what Trajan has. We haven't prepared this beforehand. I just want to ask him out of the blue. So, a couple books that I really like is Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Yep. Classic. A couple good money ones. I really like Dave Ramsey a lot. Was it Total Money Makeover, Financial Peace, which is really good for a business, running a business with no debt and not going into debt, especially for photographers. Mm-hmm. And EntreLeadership for being a good leader. Another good one by Rabbi Lapin, it's called Thou Shalt Prosper. It's about why Jews, even though they're a small percentage of the population, tend to, wherever they live, be very, very prosperous. And one of the big secrets in the book is that they're not afraid to be business people.
Yep. More Nobel Prizes than any other group.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah, like 27 or something.
Awesome.
Yeah. Way out of proportion because their culture is to study.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Excellent.
So let me add a couple of business books. You mentioned Dave Ramsey, who I really like. I like his steps.
Yeah.
A 7-step program or whatever it is. And I like The Richest Man in Babylon.
Oh, that's good.
Especially the first half of it. It's a classic. It's been around a long time. It's very simple. It's taught in an allegory, and it's all about how to save money and build wealth over a long period of time. The last half of it is more about insurance. So if you don't really like reading, pick up that book. It's already very short, like 128 pages. Read the first half.
Nice.
And you're good. You can read it in a very short amount of time. So The Richest Man in Babylon. And then a couple of books that I've always liked that were taught in both my undergrad and my grad school are The Goal by Eliyahu Goldrat, which is all about processes and throughput. I've
heard about this, and this is good.
And it's good for a business owner to think about the things that are blocking them in their business, the roadblocks. If you've got a whole process and all the process works really well, but you've got one thing right there in the middle that slows everything down. The bottleneck, yeah. So you've got to identify the bottlenecks and figure out a whole process, because the process only goes as quickly or as smoothly as the bottleneck. If the bottleneck is the very beginning, then the process, everything after that is totally messed up.
Yeah.
So read The Goal, and then the E-Myth Revisited, which is about starting a business and all of the hats and the jobs and responsibilities that a business owner has, especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
And how you take all of those jobs as you grow and find other people to do them and train them and set up procedures and build a business around yourself. And that book does a great job of going through those steps and gives you a lot of things to think about.
Photographers wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, so you've got to know how to organize all that. If you're trying to do everything yourself, it can be very overwhelming if you don't have a system. So that book addresses that very well.
What about audiobooks? So any audiobooks that you kind of go back to now and then, just like listening to?
Not really. I do listen to a lot of podcasts.
That's true.
Which is probably a whole different subject, but I like to walk and run and exercise and drive in the car. We have all this dead time that you can fill up with either listening to the top 40 songs on the radio over and over again.
Which is crap.
I mean, how many times can you listen to Britney Spears sing
Not
If
even
I Did
once
It Again?
For me.
Yeah, so use your time. I think use your time to listen to a good audiobook or listen to a podcast. A lot of cars now are coming out with podcast players, which is really, really exciting.
That's cool.
So audiobook I listen to, and I have good memories. You know how your memory associates different things?
Yeah.
Like when you're listening and walking around. I remember when I lived in Paris a couple years ago, I listened to the biography of Steve Jobs.
Oh, I listened to that. As I bought it, but I ended up listening to it.
Yeah, because it's like this big.
Yeah.
I like to read, but
Yeah.
let's get serious. It's like 800 pages or something. So,
But I loved that. That was an excellent book.
I opted to just walk every day, walk for a couple of hours and listen to the book, which is a totally different way to learn. So if you learn by watching and reading, then do that. But if you learn by listening and you have a lot of free time, then listen to an audiobook.
There's one audio book that has always stood out to me. I bought it years ago. It's called The Psychology of Achievement by Tracy. And back in the day, it was really expensive. I think now, with the internet and competition, I think that price has come down quite a bit. Mm-hmm. It was like 6 CDs long. And I found I can listen to it at double speed because, you put on your iPhone and you can speed it up. I can listen to it double speed in a few hours. By the time I mow my entire yard, I've got a whole thing back in my head again.
Yeah, and it's easy.
Easy.
What would you have been doing anyway, mowing your lawn? Listening to AC/DC and wasting your time.
Wasting my time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are excellent. I will try to put this list of some of these things that we mentioned underneath this video. And if you have any favorite books that you've liked, let us know. And if you have any questions for me, or even maybe a business question in general that I can bring Trajan in to answer, let us know. Again, my website, BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com, and Trajan's website,
InvincibleStartup.com.
Thanks, and until next time, America.
Bye, America.